So hello guys, in this video we will be discussing another Leetcode question that is called as a single number. So let's get started. In this question, what does exactly question says that we have given a one particular array which is not empty. What does it mean is arrow will have at least one element, and every element inside the array occurs twice, but there is only one element that appears only once, and we need to find that which element appears exactly once. So this is the question we are going to solve. So let's check how we can do it. Okay, the first solution, whenever you are going to any interview, try to give the first brute force solution. Because when you try to give the brute force solution and then you try to optimize the code, the interviewer comes to know that you are having multiple solutions for a single problem. So first we will understand the brute force solution and then we try to optimize the code. So from this code we can come to know that we need to check that is this element appeared twice in the array. Say for example, right now I'm standing over here and then I need to make sure that except this element from index 1 to 6, am I going to get 2 once again? If yes, then the 2 is not my answer. Let's check. I'm here. Is there a 2 here? Yes, 2 is here. So 2 is not my definitely be answer. Let me change my color. Then we are here. We are at 0. From this position, I need to check, do I have a 0 once again in my array? Yes, I have the 0. Therefore, this is not my answer. Then I'm going to come at 8. I need to check, apart from this position, that is 2, do I have one more 8? Yes, I have the 8. So 8 is not my answer. So for this, what we are doing is, for every single element, we are trying to compare every other element inside the array. So for this, what we need is we simply need a to loop to do this. So first solution we will be calling as a brute force solution. So brute force, what we are doing is we are simply running a to loop, for loop, which is running from 0 to I plus plus, and for j equal to I plus 1. Because if I'm standing at 2, I need to check from this position to till this array. I don't need to check from starting because I have come up to here. I have come up to here. Then why should I again check from the backward? So I need to check from the index which is just after the ith index. So j equals to I plus j. J is less than n and j plus plus. Then what I will do is I will simply check if my a of I is equal to a of j, then what I need to do is I need to break, because this is not my answer. But here if we try to break, how we will come to know that whether that element has occurred once or twice? So in order to overcome with this problem, what I will simply do is I will declare one extra variable called as a flag, int flag, which is initially equals to 0. Whenever I say that this element is occurred as twice, just for the sake of our understanding, what I will do is I will initialize the flag by 1, which means whenever I come out of this loop, whenever I come out of this loop, then what I will do is I will simply check if my flag is equal to 0, which means this if condition is false. What does it mean is we got a single element. That element is not matched throughout any element of the array. Therefore, my flag is 0. What does it simply mean is that is my answer, what I'm looking for. A of I need to simply return it. So this is the brute force algorithm. Now it's time to discuss the time complexity of this algorithm. So let me change my color so that we can understand in a better way. Okay, so we are running that to loop. This is called a second loop and this is our first loop. So this loop is going to take big of n time, and anyhow this loop is also going to take big of n time. Therefore overall time complexity will be big of n into n, which is nothing but big of n square. If we talk about the space complexity, what will be the space complexity? Apart from this variable, we are not using any extra array or extra space for this. Therefore overall time space complexity will be big of 1. So this is about our brute force solution. But the point is, interviewer might not get happy with this solution because eventually we are getting the higher time complexity. Now the question comes, can we do it something better than this? Can we optimize it to big of n or log n? So let's see. Now we will be discussing an optimal solution. Can we do that brute force algorithm in a better way? So before we see the optimal solution, let's discuss one of the beautiful concepts from the digital logic, which is called as a bit manipulation. In digital logic, there is a concept called as XOR. In programming, we simply declare it as a upper arrow. So this is XOR. So what does XOR show is that whenever I have the two same elements, my answer will be 0, and when I have the two different elements, my answer will be a 1. For example, if I have the 1 XOR with 1, my answer will be 0. If I have 3 XOR with 3, my answer will be 0. But if I have the 0 XOR with 1, my answer will be 1. 0 XOR with 3, my answer will be 3. Because here I have the two same element, but here I have the two different elements. So from this, I hope so you got the concept that which we are going to use to solve this question. If you have the two same element which appears twice, do make sure that these, to make this 0, we have exactly two appearance. To make this 0, we have exactly two appearance. So from this come to know that XOR is basically used to make 0 if I have the two same elements. And this is what our question says that. What does our question says that? Every single element inside the array is repeated twice except the one which is appeared only once. So how we can apply this in our problem? So let's take, before with that, let's take an example. Say for example, I got 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 0, 0. Now, since we know that for XOR we needed two same elements to make it 0. Let me change my color. Two same elements to make my 0. This 2 will make a 0 by using this 2. This 3 will make a 0 using a this 3. This 0 will make a 0 using a this 0. So we got a 3 zeros, which means I got a 0. I'm doing XOR with 1. What will be my answer? What will be my answer? Answer will be the 1. And this is what our final answer is, because 1 is repeated exactly once. And that's what we are looking for. And this is the reason why the bit manipulation, that is XOR, gives the best way to solve this question. So let's solve this algorithm. How we can do it? Let's declare one variable to store our answer, which is initially to 0. I will simply run a loop from 0 to n, and at the same time what I will be doing is answer equals to answer XOR with I, and at the end what I will do is I will simply return answer. So this is the only a code which we will be using, because this is considered as a most optimal solution. If you talk about the time complexity, of course the time complexity will be big of n. But if we talk about the space complexity, anyhow our space complexity will be big of 1. So this is the optimal approach, and this is the only a code you should be writing in an interview, because this will impress the interview. Here we are having a minimum time complexity. Earlier we got big of n square, which is much better than this algorithm, is much better than this previous algorithm. Now let's move to the online compiler to check how we can run this code. So as I said earlier, I have declared the variable called as answer, for which I have initialized to 0. I'm simply running a loop. This is auto is a keyword which is basically used an iteration to run throughout the vector. And simply what I'm doing is I'm simply doing XOR with every single element of array with my answer. And finally I'm returning the answer, which will be our final answer. So that's it from today's video. I hope so you understand every single little concept throughout this question. To know more about such conceptual things and coding interview question, do like, share and subscribe the video. Till then, have a happy coding.